Hello again, this is Alex with MasterChartsTrading.com, and this is market recap for Friday, April 14th, 2023. As always, please don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to this channel, and share this video with others. These actions are what keeps this channel going. Thank you for them. Um, the new bull market for stocks has been confirmed. I will explain why I think that is. Gold and silver are, I think, overdue for a correction as dollar makes a stand, and also cryptocurrencies are also, I think, overdue for a correction, or at least for a pullback. If you're a subscriber, stay tuned. We will cover all of these various securities, including natural gas, in the members only section. We also have a whole bunch of interesting um, speculative shares, like, for example, Cipher Mining, Neogenomics, Denimer Scientific, etc. Also, we cover gold miners in the members only video, so please stay tuned. Let's get to it. So, uh, as always, I'm using my MasterChartsTrading.com price action indicators. They're on this chart, this green, blue, red, and yellow horizontal lines. And the way I use them is pretty straightforward. For stocks, for example, this is S&P 500, ticker symbol ES1 exclamation point on TradingView.com. This is TradingView.com interface where I'm hovering. So when the price of the security, in this case S&P 500, closes above this blue support resistance line, I'm clicking on it right now. This occurred right there on the 10th of April 2023, this year. This means we have a new bull market, new uptrend for stocks. We can also look on the weekly chart. And this is a weekly chart, meaning that each candlestick, each of these red and green funny looking things, is a whole week's worth of activity. You can see it right there, 1 week, and this is called an interval. So looking on this chart, if you're using my indicators, please don't forget to change the settings to 52. On daily chart, where I'm hovering right now, the settings should be at 250. So looking at this weekly chart of S&P 500, notice where I'm hovering right there, we have a confirmed close above this blue support resistance line. This is a new bull market, meaning that we have a new uptrend. The bear market for stocks, the recent, or at least absence of a bull market, you can see it was a quite short-lived. Started right there on April 2022, almost exactly a year ago. We didn't really get much of a downward movement. In other words, there was not that much of what's called a forced selling. Contrast that to, for example, I'm going to go to 2009. 2009, we had what's called forced selling. There it is. So the bear market for stocks in 2008 started right there in January of 2008. We had a wonderful opportunity to sell short here back in May of 2008. We had a collapse afterwards, and this is what's called a forced selling. You can see enormous red candles. Eventually, of course, the bear market also came to an end in 2009. We had a rally, and a new bull market where I'm hovering began in September of 2009. Notice how easy it is to read the charts with my indicators. So right now we have the end of recent, for lack of a better term, shallow or weak bear market, and now we have a new bull market, meaning that we are most likely going to start hitting new record highs. Record highs for S&P 500 are not that far off. They are only about 13% away. This is a record high that was set in January of 2022. We're about maybe a little bit, actually a bit less even. Um, sure, it's about, yeah, it's about 13% away. So this means that For stocks, 13% is not that much. So I think once we get to this new record highs, I think we will quite likely continue higher. Um, I don't know what's the estimate, but we can do a very rough estimate. So let's say uh, we have a breakout above the previous highs. We can see that the depth of this pattern, meaning from the low that was set in October of 2022, where I'm hovering, to the previous high is 37%. So about 1,000 points. Excuse me. It's about 1,000 points. Can this be duplicated on the upside? Sure. We can say that, uh, well, that's about 1,000 points right there, maybe even 1,200 points. Generally speaking, we're looking at S&P 500 somewhere in the vicinity of 6,000. When is that going to happen? Once we break out above the new into new records, then I think it's quite reasonable to expect it within a year or two. 1,000 points, yeah, it's possible. So here's the more granular daily chart. We have a breakout into the new bull market right there on April 10th of this year. Confirmation for sure we are now in a new uptrend. We can actually look at SPX, which is where I'm hovering, index from Chicago Board of Options, CBOE, Chicago Board of Options Exchange. We can look at that. Unequivocal bull market right there on 13th of April. We have a new uptrend. So there it is. Again, when we have a breakout, but does it mean that we cannot get a pullback? Absolutely. In fact, if we project my indicators into immediate future, we can see that there is a little bit of a dip of the indicators. So it's quite likely that we will see at least a shallow pullback, but I think that shallow pullback would be a buying opportunity. We will also, it looks like we're going to bottom in next week, Friday, 21st of April. So next week is going to be the bottom of the indicators. I think next week is going to be quite important again. But at the very least, I can say that we're no longer for sure in a downtrend. I think we're now officially in an uptrend, and I am treating stocks as such. We are buying various stocks, and as I just mentioned, we have quite a bit of stocks with bullish setups. These are all bullish setups, meaning that we're buying all of these various securities. Well, not necessarily all of them at once, but at the very least, we're looking for opportunities within those securities. Looking at NASDAQ, also we have a new uptrend for NASDAQ, new bull market for NASDAQ right there where I'm hovering on the 6th of April. We have a new breakout. We can also look on the weekly chart for NASDAQ. And there is the new breakout for NASDAQ right there. Once again, I am not, questioning this. This looks like a new uptrend for stocks. Nasdaq also has a very bullish pattern, in my opinion. So notice this move up from the December lows, then a sideways consolidation with a shallow pullback, and now a new breakout above the previous highs. I think it's very reasonable to expect a similar move that we had on the downside from the December lows. I think it's very reasonable to expect similar move in the very near term. I think into May, maybe into early June. So I am personally long. In other words, I own stock. I own QQQ. I bought QQQ actually earlier than I than the recent alert. The most recent alert happened for my subscribers here on 6th of April. I actually decided to go ahead and you know do a little bit of an early jump. I jumped in back in January, so I am long QQQ from $280. Have a nice profit right now, so I am continuing to hold stocks, and I'm adding to my positions and buying various other stocks of speculative nature, as well as various dividend players that we trade. However, not everything is rosy. This is Russell 2000, small caps index. Russell 2000 underperformed badly. This drop here in early March is when we had this Silicon Valley Bank collapse, and lots of small caps, of course, also were in that same boat. So it's understandable that small caps are underperforming. However, because of the correlations, I'm going to show you what I mean here. Correlations. Here's Russell 2000 small caps index. Down below here is a correlation to the S&P 500. By and large, it's a positive correlation. Occasionally, we get this weird spikes into negative territory. Currently, we have a pretty decent degree of correlation. Correlation meaning we're doing the same thing as S&P 500. So I'm pretty comfortable either owning small caps or even buying them right this instant. I think they're actually undervalued, if anything. So let's look forward. We're looking forward to next week. I think we're also many of the small what are speculative stocks. Like for example, you can see there's a lot of very small unknown names. Have you heard of Aurinia Pharmaceuticals? Have you heard of Cipher Mining? Have you heard of Denimer Scientific? I haven't. However, they are all appearing on my scanner to be bought. So if you heard about any of them, go ahead and make a comment. I would love to hear what you have to say. Looking at Forex universe, here is dollar index DXY. Again, um, the dollar index the only you can't really trade this one that much in America. You can trade it, I think, in other places in the world, but this particular security is more for illustrative purposes. The reason being is because we do trade gold and silver, and we need to know what the dollar is doing. Because if the dollar is getting more expensive, gold and silver will come under pressure. Vice versa, if the dollar is getting cheaper, then gold and silver will rally. So up to very recently, I'm going to show dollar index on a weekly chart once again, so kind of a longer term, uh, uh, longer term appearance. Here is that longer term entry point back here in July of 2021, a long time ago. A huge move to the upside. Many of the currencies, for example, British pound, euro, and the Japanese yen hit multi-year lows. British pound hit an all-time low versus the dollar back in September of last year before reversing. Finally, right there in January of this year, we have an entry of the dollar index into a new downtrend, into a new bear market where I'm hovering. Why? Because the dollar has closed below this red support resistance line. That's all I really needed to know, meaning that we need to reverse our thinking and to start selling the dollar short. Last week I mentioned that if we break below February lows for this dollar, February 2023 lows, then I think we will easily continue lower another 4 to 5% lower. So looking at the daily chart of this security, here's DXY. Here are the February 2nd lows that were set obviously on 2nd of February. And I simply drew a line. There's a white line. Notice that what's happening right now is that the dollar is attempting to bottom right there. It's trying to bottom around those February 2nd lows. And today, in fact, it rallied. So I think dollar, notice this downward facing arrows. So this is where I would have shorted it. For example, last time I would have shorted it was on 17th of March of this year, and it would have been a successful trade. I think now if we hold here, and it's quite likely that at least a shallow bounce will materialize, dollar will gain. Okay, if dollar gains, we need to look at gold and silver. And here it is gold. Notice again XAU divided by USD. If the bottom part of this equation, USD, is getting bigger, it will pull this currency pair lower. So as of right now, gold is rallied really quite strongly since March because dollar was under pressure. Right now, dollar is finally appears to be trying to hold support. So today we had a pretty big red candlestick, possible bearish engulfing pattern. So a bearish engulfing pattern happens when previous day, so this is 13th of April, is completely engulfed by today's candle. So notice there it is, possible bearish engulfing. So it is possible that we will pull back, especially if dollar rallies. If dollar does not hold support here, then we can see a further appreciation of gold and silver. And I already mentioned that once gold breaks to new highs, I think the road would be clear for gold to continue significantly higher. So there it is on the weekly chart again. There's gold. Um, if we make a new high above August 22 highs, so we're looking at around $2,080. If we make especially if we close above, like, let's say we close at 2090, especially on weekly basis, that would be ideal if we close about 2090 on weekly, or even better monthly basis. I think it's quite possible that gold will move towards about 2500 in the next year or so. So I'm quite bullish on gold, but I think a shallow pullback cannot be ruled out. Same goes for silver. Here's XAG divided by USD once again, because US dollar may be getting stronger for the next few days to weeks. This currency pair most likely will pull back, and I say it's currency pair. Silver is a currency pair because it's traded in this particular case in dollars. You can also trade silver in other local currencies. Looking at this particular chart, here is a silver possible bearish engulfing. Once again, today's red candle completely engulfs previous green candle. Also, very big move, almost unstoppable from the lows in March until now. Quite likely we will get a pullback. Probably a very good target for a pullback would be around 2280. That's where the blue line is currently. I think it is reasonable to expect for it to move there. Finally, we're looking at Bitcoin right now. So Bitcoin, we are along Bitcoin. Bitcoin started its new uptrend back here in February, exactly right there, 15th of February 2023. If you are lucky to get in on Bitcoin, we had a just tremendous opportunity right there on 12th of March. If you are able to get in there, then congratulations. I think right now we will see a pullback. Again, where is the target for that pullback? I think a blue line. So somewhere in the vicinity of 2500 would be a good place to consider buying Bitcoin on a pullback. Will we get there? Time will tell. I will show you my position in Ethereum. I got in Ethereum right there on January 29th of this year at 1626. Today I sold a quarter of my position at 2048, so very nice gain. I think it might be tapping out together with Bitcoin, and I think a pullback for Ethereum is also quite likely to where to blue line. Once again, the blue line currently is at around 1700. So if you're interested in these lines, then head over to MasterChartsTrading.com, click on sign up for one of my products, the trading indicators, the newsletters, and both of them together. I send out daily alerts with the newsletters. I also send out weekly members only videos. In this case, this week we will be covering lots of various securities. For example, various ETFs, various country ETFs, as well as large cap stocks, gold miners, and various speculative shares. Again, thank you for watching. Please don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to this channel, share this video. This is very important to keep this channel going. Thank you for watching. Have another great trading week. Bye-bye.